If you're not treating your music as though it's a business, why are you wasting time in the studio? You're involved in music and you're not thinking of it as a business. There's a thing called ChatGPT. Now, if you're not too lazy to say, yes, please, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go on to ChatGPT and say this.
Yes, guys, welcome back to the Sound Mindset Podcast, where we bring you the latest in music production tools, helping you to navigate the industry with a mindset for success, man. And today, man, we've got things. I've been thinking about this for a week, like the last few weeks, especially. I've been doing a lot of videos and a lot of in the studio a lot. And one of the things I realized with the people, some of the people around me, is that people are not seeing their music as a business. You know what I'm saying? So, Dr. Deuce, man, you're here, you're in the building, man. I want you to just, like, what do you think about that? What do you think about people doing it? Because you're the master, really. You know what's been going on as well. And how do you plan to do it?
Oh, it's a fail. It's a complete fail. It's like, it's like you're practicing. Imagine that you spend day and night out on the basketball pitch, field, court, basketball court. You're shooting those hoops and everything, but you never join a club, or you never pursue an agent, or whatever the route is to becoming a pro basketball player or a football player. You got skills. You got skills. Everyone around you tells you got skills. You do a little kick around with your friends, and you're sick. But then you don't put yourself in a position to get scouted, to get picked up, and then maybe work your way through the different leagues, to become a Premiership player, and then to become a Champions League player, and then to become a World Cup player for your country. Why are you wasting time? If it's a hobby, great. Enjoy your hobby. But don't be dreaming about the big time and earning a living out of your creative skills as a musician, or producer, or an artist. Hear the words: earning a living. Earning a living, you're in business. Whether you are earning a living through going out to a job and being paid as an employee, or if you have your own self-employed business, you're still in business. When you go out to do a job, you're selling your services for a fee. If you're paid £15 an hour, you're turning up. You've got a contract to say, I'm going to render my services for X amount of time in a day for £15 an hour. So, Mr. Employer, you pay me my £15. We're in a contract. It might be an employer-employee contract. You're still in business.
Yeah.
So why would you treat the music as your time developing your music skills and hoping that one day, miraculously, that's going to convert into millions of pounds or dollars and success? Come on, really?
Because if you're thinking about it, isn't it? It's like the if we're talking about numbers here, the percentage of people that go to a global scale to make more than a living. I mean, making a living, and we're comparing it to like some of the superstar artists. It's two different worlds.
That's right.
You can have a great life living off of music.
Yep.
You can have a greater life living off of music, and then you can also be making absolutely nothing.
Yep.
But one thing, because I'm thinking maybe don't you think it's maybe the perspective that a lot of people don't actually understand how to make money from music, or how to properly monetize their music.
Yes.
Maybe and that's a common thing. The more new artists that come into the space, because even when I first started, it was like, you know what I'm saying, you was educating me, and I was like, I didn't even know that I would make money from some of these streams. So what would you say, like, is if they're gonna take away just off the bat, like, what are the, let's put it into 2 or 3 main ways you make money from music as a singer and a producer, and I can even drop in some as well.
Right. So I'm going to say something a bit controversial here, but I hope you indulge me, Tim, and anyone else who decides to stay watching the video beyond this point.
Mm.
If you're lazy, just sign off now. Go.
Yeah.
If you're
It's true.
lazy, this episode is not for you, okay?
Mm.
Come back when we're talking about something that's fun and easy and you can just spend like a few minutes having a laugh, yeah. But if you're serious, okay, then stick around because we're talking real talk here. We've been in the industry, and I've been in the industry since the 80s, the 1980s, okay? Timothy, you've been in for the past, well, how many years now you've been active generating income from within the industry?
Generating income probably like the last like 5 years.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 different perspectives, okay? From when we kicked it up, when we started, if you wanted to, anyone who was making money in music legitimately, you couldn't be lazy. No one was giving anything for you.
Yeah.
You couldn't pick up a phone. First of all, there were no mobile phones. You get me? And if you did have it, if you did have one, it was as big as a brick.
As a brick.
Yeah? There was no screen. It was just, yeah. Anyway, that aside. But if anyone making money out of music, you had to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had to develop a work ethic. And what it is now, the problem that we have now is that it's so easy, it becomes difficult. It's so easy, it becomes difficult. Check this out, Tim. If I wanted to learn, I'm coming back to your point, right? You make a great point. Yeah. If I wanted to learn how to generate money or revenue from music when I was coming up in the late 80s, early 90s, I would either have to have known someone in the industry, which was very, very difficult. It was all very closed. There were no music production colleges or courses. It didn't exist. Music tech, music production courses in the 80s, there was no such thing, okay? So you either had to know somebody or you had to go to the library, and not just your local library, because that information was not held in the local library because it's so niche. You had to find a specialist library to get that information. So you had to do some work. So for you guys who decided to stick around, okay, this is how you win in this game. And I'm going to give you a simple solution.
Yeah.
There's a thing called ChatGPT.
Yeah.
This is how easy it is, right? But it's so difficult. All you do, go on to ChatGPT and say this. Give me 5 methods of generating income as a music producer or as an artist or as a songwriter. And it will say, and it will give you 5. And it will then say, oh, do you want me to break down some more? Do you want some more information? Now, if you're not too lazy to say, yes, please. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
You don't even have to get off the toilet. You can sit on the toilet and get the information. I know I'm being crude, yeah, but it's true.
It's true. It's that easy.
It's so easy that it's difficult.
You know what it is? I think the difficulty comes in the amount of in the lack of effort to think and use your own mind because it's so accessible. It then removes your thoughts to say, okay, well, what should I do? Oh, I can't think of anything. When it's not that you can't think of anything, you just can't be bothered to think of anything.
You can't be bothered.
That's what it is. And it can be a subconscious thing as well. That's real. And it's true what you're saying is using tools like GPT to create a strategy for you, because you could be in the niche. You could be in the music niche. You could be a singer. You might want to make money in different ways. You could be in any. This isn't even just for the music, but this is for loads of other career avenues and skills that you can learn to monetize. Use tools like AI to give you information on how you can do it, because it's no longer. To be honest with you, I mean, back in the day, it would have been just what PRS is the one. Obviously, your streams.
So
sales.
From
your sales. Yeah.
Yep.
Because back then it would have been streams, it would have been sales.
Yeah.
And then obviously live performance. And
performances.
That's no longer the limitation, because there's so many platforms that you can take advantage of. Just for an example, I'll give you two off the bat that you can jump on right now. Splice. You can be a creator on Splice as a producer. And vocalists, you can be a creator on Splice as a vocalist too. You can be using your voice to creating vocal samples. People are always looking for things like this. Do you know what I'm saying? And become that. If you might not want to become a spotlight singer, you might just want to use your voice to monetize and to just be able to, because you love doing it. And there's so many ways. That's just two off of the back for both careers. But you know what? Before we even get too into that, I'll say, let's give them three things on how you're going to change your whole music perspective and your music business in 2025. We're just coming out of Q1, going into Q2 of the year. So give them the first one, man. Give them the first one.
So cool. So again, because of the nature of the way music is consumed now, creatives that's coming up now, they are kind of they're looking at it wrong. It's deemed that your success is based on how many followers you have, or how many streams you have. Now, let's take someone who puts out a video, drops a video on a channel. Do you remember that channel? I think it's still going, GRM Daily. I think that's still going. Yeah. So I remember, guys, because I work in the prisons a lot, as many of you guys know, and so I've got a lot of guys who I've worked with in the past and even now who have been active, putting out videos, making tracks and everything. Got a buzz going. So they'll make their video, they'll make their track, you hand it over to GRM and Daily, and then it goes. I don't know. They get 5 million views and that. And then the guys, they're like, "Yeah, look at my, doing so well." Well, how much have you earned? You've earned nothing. You've actually, I think for some of those platforms, you have to pay. You actually got to pay to get your video onto their platform. So all of the revenue from that video is going to GRM Daily. So not only have you paid, not only have you paid them to get your video up. Okay, you're gonna get a little, you're gonna get some exposure. That's all good. That's worth money. But you're gonna get you're paying to get the video up there. You're paying and any the streams of your song, any monetization from that goes to the channel.
Yes.
Yeah. And okay, you look good. You can share that, but you haven't earned anything. So streams, you really have to understand what the value is in streams. Unless streams is bringing you money, don't be chased. Don't get an understanding about that. The other thing as well is like followers. There's people with hundreds of thousands of followers, but no money coming in. So that feeds into, sadly, the vanity of where we are today. The metrics. It's like, yeah, man, look how many followers I've got. Look how many streams I've got. Okay, great. See me, I would rather be anonymous and have the money than be famous and have no money.
Yeah? Facts. And the crazy thing is as well, I've had an experience, literally exactly the same experience. I had in my early days of being a producer, I did a song with somebody, and Mixtape Madness wanted to put it on their platform. So they had sent me a contract to if I wanted to agree to it. And basically, obviously, with the understanding that, okay, we're going to get this opportunity. And the thing is as well, young producers and new producers and creators in the music space, don't get fooled by this, because I kind of got low-key, I got tricked by this. They offered me a very, very insignificant amount, which for me I considered a lot. And remember, what you consider to be a lot and what is actually a lot for your time and for your efforts is very different things. And obviously now that song went on to Mixtape Madness, the song got millions of streams, and I didn't see a penny after what they gave me, which was so insignificant, but I didn't have enough representation to help me to understand that, this is not actually a good deal, because the song is a banger, the song is going to do well. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously,
Yeah.
there's a give and take with everything, but I think ultimately understanding that, like you just said, man, streams and followers are metrics that don't directly reflect to your bank account. And ultimately, you can only continue doing what you're doing if your bank account continues to grow. That's the reality, fam.
You
That's
see,
the reality.
you see, and that's brilliant, because you're giving a very practical example there, and guys, you, we're not gonna be here giving you the step by step, because we don't need to. The information is accessible. We're
Yeah.
giving you, we're pointing you in the direction of how, simple.
Yeah.
Type it into ChatGPT. You don't even have to type it into Google anymore, because if you were doing it in
Yeah.
Google, you'd have to know what to type and what to follow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you'd be sent down different alleyways. Now it's
Yeah.
very pointed.
Yes.
That will be my biggest advice for the audience.
So here's what we are gonna say, and again, remember, we're coming from an angle of musicians who are doing this stuff ourselves. This isn't just coming from an angle of what you should do. This is what we're doing. We're doing this in real time. Like we're just
100%.
telling you what we're doing that we are seeing results from. And one of the things that I wanted to add to what you were saying about using GPT is we are going to show you some of the stuff and the ways in which we've managed to get some good information out of GPT, because you have to know how to draw the information out of GPT-2, and that requires you to think. Requires you to be creative in the ideas. And so stop setting stream and follower goals, set income goals, set income based milestones. Whether you want to think about whether you want to earn your first 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 a month from music. And I'm like, you got so many ways, selling beats, like we just said, using Splice. What's the word? Non popular ways. There's a word. I don't know what the word is, but like traditional ways of making money that you wouldn't expect. It's like, oh yeah, I make money through selling and creating packs on Splice, or just creating beats, or licensing through for TV and film. Like there's so many ways. So that's the first thing I say. Set income-based milestones. Use GPT to help you to actually get into the details of how you can draw out that money from your skills. Because you've got multiple different skills. Most of you probably don't just sing, or don't just produce, or don't just play something. You probably do both. Who's to say you can't monetize that? You know what I'm saying?
And that's it. It's sometimes what happens, and I think it's the nature of how things are today. Maybe it's always been like that, where it just can seem like so much. So it's easier not to step forward, because it just like there are too many options, So you end up being stuck.
Analysis paralysis.
There you go.
That's what they call it. Analysis paralysis. When you just got too many things, too many options, you don't know where to start, and then you don't start. And now you're stuck.
Exactly. But we're gonna take, like you said, Tim. It'd be good. You guys could come on with us on a journey. What would be great is if we actually did a project together.
Yeah,
me and you, Tim, and we kind of rolled it out on the podcast. And we showed you guys the step by step that we would use, and you can then learn from that and introduce it into your own strategy. And we're gonna hit pitfalls, we're gonna hit snags, and then you'll see, we'll be able to go through it, and we'll show you how we overcome the bumps in the road. Which might you might encounter yourself.
That would be great. I think as well, we had some questions on how to I think it was how to publish the music. And even things like that. I think we'll do a little series where we basically break it down, because there's always a new musician, a new producer, a new singer, a new creator coming into the industry, and definitely we need to know how to monetize these things. And that's a good segue into the second point, because what you need to start doing, beginners, intermediates, if you got a couple of millions of streams, that's all nice and well, but you need to create a monetization plan. That's the second thing that is so important. How are you going to monetize the different assets that you have that come from your music. So you might have a small audience. How can you monetize the audience? You might be getting the streaming royalties. It doesn't end there. That's the tip.
That's just the beginning.
That's just the beginning. Obviously, live performances, but what about virtual performances? Do you know what I'm saying? What about creating online events and performing online? That might be more affordable for some of you, where you might not be able to book a venue for 3K, but you can book a little studio for £200 for 2 hours, or £400 for £500 for a day, and get your band there, set up, have a nice little background, and stream that. Like, do you know what I'm saying? That's a live performance, sell virtual tickets.
You see, and it goes right back to the very first point that we're making here. The whole point of this video is business.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest challenges I recognize ever since being involved in music, in the music industry, and I was subject to this shortcoming myself, was a lack of self-confidence when it comes, because I knew I had talent, but I didn't believe that I was almost like worthy to sell what I had as a commodity. I wasn't good at self-promotion. I taught myself that I wasn't good at self-promotion, and someone else needed to come and sort of discover me, and then they needed to believe in me, and then I just turn up, do my bit, and then they take it. Well, the game has changed. For independent artists, the game has changed. And even if you have aspirations of being signed, the game has changed. You have to believe in yourself and believe in your business proposition. If your business proposition is as a music producer, or as a singer, as a songwriter, as a beat maker, as a sound engineer, whatever it is, you have to believe and understand that you're offering a business service. Okay, that's the case. So you got that self-belief. So what's the next step? Well, we now have to then identify, well, how does someone grow a business? Well, no one's going to buy from you if they don't know you exist.
Right.
So you need to start thinking about, well, you need to market yourself, your service, your product. And there's a range of things that I'm not going to go through every single thing, but the point is to try and get you onto the track or the rails of thinking about what you have to offer as a business service. Yeah, that's what it is.
100%. And just for some people that probably don't even know, and I'm sure you can look it up. This isn't the exact number. It's a general from what I had read, but I believe it's something like along the lines of one sale counts for 130 streams, which is absolutely insane. And if you really think about it, 130 streams, if I've listened to the song 130 times or 120 times, whatever the number is, I know it's over 100. If I've listened to it over 100 times, more than likely or not, you'll probably be about fed up of that song. Yeah. So for that to count as one paid stream with paid sale, which is probably 99p, which is probably 199, depending on what you're selling it for, is insane. So this is why this is so important. And you may not know that. You know what I'm saying? So for you to get 1 million streams, definitely reaching that many listeners or getting that many streams is a great thing. But consider that a small piece to the puzzle of this being your full-time job.
Yes.
And we've even, like, I think another thing as well that has definitely helped me, and I'm going to continue to do, definitely need to keep working on it, because I've done it multiple times, but because I think for me personally, I make a lot of music very frequently. So with this point I'm about to make, I know you understand what I mean. Allocate time weekly to pitch your track to playlists, blogs, music supervisors, whether you want it for sync, publishing, whether you want it for just a playlist to land on a playlist or blogs or things like this. This does require time, and not a lot of people do understand how to do it, but it's as simple as being on your distributor and making sure you upload your song anywhere up to a minimum, I believe, is 3 to 4 weeks in advance, and then pitching it to Spotify, whoever, and that gives you an opportunity to market. Consider you know what it is. I think maybe we should start considering our streams as marketing metrics, not necessarily or not solely monetization metrics. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the more streams you get it doesn't directly, like we said, doesn't directly reflect the amount on your bank account. I don't have £1 million. I've got multiple millions of streams. I don't have no £1 million. So we've got to fix that. We've got to compensate in different areas.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, and that's the thing. I think really, we'll see what the audience says anyway. But, if you want us to kind of do like breakdown episodes, I think we'll do that anyway. But
we'll do a live experience, take them through it.
You know what I mean? Like you've brought to the table the possibilities that come with synchronization deals. For many people, they no clue.
No clue.
For some people, they've never even heard. It's probably the first time they're hearing about this. This is where the quiet money. My friend always uses the term. The quiet money is made. You see, the loud money is the streams. Yeah, that's the loud money, but it's tiny little money. The loud money is the little tiny little money. The quiet money, that's the fat money. That's those people who you see them. They're like some nobody pushing some cart around in Tesco, and then they go out to the car park to load up their groceries, and they're driving the fattest G-Wagon, and you're thinking, yo, that person is the person who is getting those sync deals, synchronization deals. Yeah, that's where the fat money. Let me tell you something real quick. Yeah. This week I was watching a program, a big program on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called, but it's popular, very popular program. And then it's a drama, and there was a piece of music like as part of the soundtrack that played beneath a scene, and it sounded like some old time 1940s song. So I'm like, oh, that sounds so interesting. It was such a contrast to the very modern show. So I thought, let me Shazam this. So I Shazammed it, right? Bruv, I couldn't believe it. The song came up. I found it. It came up on Spotify. The dude is just some local guy up in. I think he's in Scotland. He gets 800 monthly listeners. 800. Now, for those of you who don't you got like 130 whatever thousand. You got like 130,000 monthly listeners. That's what you get, right? At the moment. Yeah? At this point, yeah? My man's getting 800, not even 1,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. And yet, his song is featured in this big Netflix show.
Yeah. And he got back for that.
The quiet money.
Yeah, 100%. And he got a big bag for that as well. Because these studios are paying for these things, and people don't know. And this is the industry that I want to, like, I've been already, man. I've been reaching out to like your brethren and stuff, and I'm trying to grow in that industry alone because there's so much that people are missing, especially with the use of things like Udio and Suno and click up here if you haven't seen that video where you literally making music with prompts. You don't even need to know what you're doing with music. Imagine you're using that to create a portfolio of tracks for film and TV. You would have, let's say, for example, hypothetical, realistic situation. Me and you sit down, because we're doing this in real time.
Yeah.
We create an album of 12 songs, okay? Themed around what's the word? Space, sci-fi, ambient type of theme, okay? We do different prompts for each one. So, we create an interlude, we create different times with boom, 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 whatever. We can even put some, I'm just giving you an example. Let's say we didn't even know what we was doing with the music, okay?
Yeah.
We pitched that to a couple of thing libraries. It gets picked up for Star Wars. It gets picked up for a tech ad.
Yeah.
You would have made, because we're going to be real here.
Yep.
How much is the Suno membership?
Soon I remember. Oh gosh, it was something stupid like less than. I think it's like $10 a month. Something
$10 a
ridiculous.
month. $10 a
Yeah.
month. If you get a sync placement for a TV ad or a film, we're talking on the low end, you're
Low
looking at
end.
5 grand. Low
Low
end,
end.
you're looking at
Yes.
5 grand.
Yes.
And we're talking about after splits with the library and
Yep.
splits with yourself, because you will own the publishing, you will own the masters to it, right? If you have a membership, that's
Yep.
if that's right, innit?
That's
So
right.
you would have turned, what did you say, £20? £12?
Yeah, I think it's $10, something like $10. I
$10.
swear it's $10. Yeah.
$10 into 5,000. Even if you turn $10 or $15 into $1,500,
Yeah.
you still won. And these are the things that people are not even think. Like, we're actually
Yeah.
not. We're dropping too much game. You know what it is?
I know, man. I know. You see, we're ruining the industry right here. We're giving it all away, but that's all right, man. You come
That's
back, check
fine.
back next week. We'll have more for you.
We've got
Come back.
more, man. We've got
Yeah.
more. And you know what it is? You know what it is? I think it's that time where musicians, performers, songwriters, artists need to start getting smart. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? We need to start getting smart, because we're
Yes.
also doing this. And these are things I'm applying to right now. You know what I'm saying? So
100.
but I think the last thing is so important. And I was talking to this with my mister the other day, like owning your audience and not relying on algorithm completely.
Yes.
Because and what does that look like? People are probably like, oh, what does that mean to own your audience? A lot of people got 100,000 followers,
Yes.
will post a product and 10 people will buy.
Yeah.
That is the complete opposite to owning your audience. It means that your audience doesn't engage. It means your audience is basically here for the 30-second reel that you're going to post every day, and then they're out. You know what I'm saying? There's no
Thank you. Later.
There's no attachment. There's no trust. There's no direct personal relationship with that audience. So you want to set goals instead of, yes, the 100K is or the 10K, because I'm even trying to figure out this Instagram thing. I'm very new to this. Yeah. But once you can start getting the SMS list, email list, start using these things to grow a personal relationship, letting people know when you're dropping music. That's one of the things I want to do. Like, let's say I got a drop, I can send out an SMS list for people who sent up, and then boom. It's like I've messaged you personally. Yo, I've got this new song coming out, videos dropping in 24 hours type of thing. I'm not going to use myself as an example, but I know some people who had like a couple hundred followers on Instagram and was making upwards of 3K a month from PTing, from personal training, from fitness. And you think, oh, that might not be a lot of money. 3K is a lot of money, not a lot of money. But guess what? No one knows who they are, and they're making a lot of money.
That's it.
They're making enough. Do you know what I'm saying? They're making more than enough than they need.
You see, and again, because of the rapid development and evolution of the social media, I tell you, the game, it's not rigged, it's not rigged, but I tell you what, the smart people are the smart people.
That's it.
You see, a lot of people, younger ones are coming up now, they don't have email account. Why? Email, that's old. SMS, they don't even want to have like an actual number, because they can communicate through Snapchat and through Instagram and all of these other ways of staying in touch and communicating. Well, hold on a minute. Email marketing, why is it still here? Why? Think to yourself, why email marketing is still here? Why is SMS marketing still here? Huh? I know it sounds like dinosaur technology, but it's here. Why do the biggest sellers, the biggest people in the industry, when was the last time Amazon sent you a message through Instagram? They've never sent me a message through Instagram. They never have.
True,
They've never marketed. Those big companies, they don't market to me through Instagram. In my inbox. No, my email. Yeah. That's the key.
Facts.
Let me show you something, I'm approaching, on the MTTC channel, approaching 30,000 subscribers, right? Hopefully we'll get over the top of that soon.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, for some reason, I get deplatformed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cooked.
Done.
Done.
Well done. Missing.
Never existed. You'll have to come over here and find me. Yeah, I'll be back though. I'll be back. But I'm showing you that. You see, and even I am at fault for not spending enough time building the email list, building that personal audience that's directly linked to me. So should something catastrophic go wrong, I'm not totally reliant on the platform. We're here on YouTube, you know. We have to figure out, well, how can we secure our future in terms of maintaining the connections with our audience should something go wrong. And these are things that we don't really want to talk about or think about, but it's facts. We you know, you guys, if you engage in social media, you know about people who have lost their account on a big platform and then boom, done.
It happened the other day. Yeah, it happened the other day. TikTok obviously was getting was in a little bit of a situation, and then for 24 hours, people was thinking, "What am I gonna do with my TikTok? My 10 million followers on TikTok is gone." Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and even last year, Instagram shut down for like 24 hours. So that's 24 hours. Your business is closed and out of your control. Do you know what I'm saying? We wanna create more opportunities. We want to have more legs so that we don't fall down so easily. If you're on one stand, then your business is in the hand of that platform, and we are too privileged to let that be the case. There's so many opportunities, so it only makes sense to own your audience, like we just said before, man.
That's it.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh man, I think you know, let's just give some bullet points, some takeaways. That the people can sort of just go away with, mull it over. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back strong. And like you said, Tim, we're giving away the game. We are. That's why we're here. We're giving away the game because you know what? There's enough for all of us.
Exactly.
Okay.
We can all eat, man.
We can all eat. Yeah. Let's eat together
and be full.
And be full. Yeah, and share. Plenty. You know. So what do you reckon? You wanna give like a highlight that you wanna just drop for the folks?
Definitely, man. So if you haven't written down already, man, note this down. Start looking at your music as a business. Start looking at your career path. It could be for anything. I mean, we specialize music here, but for everyone who's watching, stop seeing it as a passion. Start seeing it as your music, as your business. Sorry, as your business, right? First, I'm gonna go through the three things that we mentioned in this episode. Set income-based milestones, not just focusing on streams and followers. Set those income-based milestones. What do you want to make a month? What's going to keep you... It can be what can keep you happy, what's going to allow you to live the lifestyle that you want to live through music, and go above and beyond in that, and set that as your target. Number 2, create a monetization plan. Start to monetize your skills in different ways. Start learning about how you can do that. And the number one tool to do that is GPT. Use AI to get informed. There is no excuse to not know anymore. If you don't know, that means you don't care. It means you don't want to know. That's the reality. Okay? So create a monetization plan. And last but not least, start owning your audience and stop relying on the algorithm. Okay? Stop relying on these platforms, but start owning your audience. How can you get your audience connected with you directly? Email, messages, your own website platform where you're signing people up. You know what I'm saying? Even WhatsApp groups, a lot of fitness businesses, they do WhatsApp. You know what I'm saying? So you're directly there. So there's so many ways, but make sure you got that down because this is what I'm doing. This is what Dr. Deuce is doing. So we're doing this in real time and we just continue to like come up with new ideas to learn to navigate this industry with a mindset of success. So without further ado, man. Love, that's it, man. Appreciate you for watching.
Thank you. I'm holding on to something you just said there, and I'm gonna bring it back because I loved what you said there, and you're gonna hear it again. I think I'm gonna use it probably every episode now.
Yeah.
The man said, "If you don't know, you don't care."
Don't care. Facts.
You know? So if you don't know, then you need to know, and therefore you will go and find out. So if you don't know and you continue to not know, you don't care.
Come on. Right?
It is what it is. It's the truth. And that's why you come here. And that's why you're going to come back, because we're going to tell you the truth, because that's how we do it.
That's how we do it, man. Without further ado, appreciate you for tapping in.
Thank you.
And subscribe if you haven't. If you want to get more information like this, more gems, man, doesn't matter what business you're in, what career path you're in, man. We've got the information, and we're not just people who's telling you what to do, but we're doing it in real time with you, man. So we're going to see the failures, we're going to see the wins. And other than that, man, we appreciate you. Thank you for tapping in with the sound mindset. We'll see you soon.
Sound mindset. Until next time.
Love.